Tonight, we begin a journey through time, one that will carry us back to when our planet's oceans held creatures so magnificent and powerful that they defined what it meant to rule the seas. Long before whales sang through the depths and before sharks patrolled coral reefs, ancient waters teemed with predators whose very existence challenges our understanding of what life can become. These were not the monsters of legend or imagination, but real animals whose fossilized remains tell us stories of dominance, survival, and evolutionary triumph that lasted for hundreds of millions of years. The word monster, when applied to these ancient beings, speaks not of fiction but of scale, of power, of the sheer, overwhelming presence these creatures commanded in their underwater realms. They were monsters in the truest sense, not because they were evil or supernatural, but because they represented nature's most ambitious experiments in creating the perfect marine predator. Some grew to lengths that rival modern blue whales. Others developed crushing jaws that could snap through bone and shell with ease. Still others evolved sensory systems so sophisticated they could detect the faintest chemical traces of prey from miles away. These animals ruled prehistoric seas for a span of time so vast it dwarfs all of human history. While our species has existed for perhaps 300,000 years, the marine reptiles we will encounter tonight dominated their oceans for over 150 million years. The great sharks we will meet patrolled ancient reefs for periods measured not in millennia, but in geological epochs. To understand the true scope of their reign, we must adjust our perspective to geological time, where a million years becomes merely a brief chapter in a much longer story. The oceans these creatures inhabited were not the familiar blue waters we know today. Ancient seas were warmer, shallower, and often divided continents that had not yet taken their modern forms. Coral reefs grew in places where we now find frozen tundra. Shallow seas covered much of what is now dry land, creating vast underwater hunting grounds where these marine giants could pursue their prey. The chemistry of the water itself was different, with varying levels of oxygen and acidity that influenced how large animals could grow and how efficiently they could breathe. Scientists have spent more than 2 centuries piecing together the lives of these ancient sea dwellers from fragments of bone, impressions in stone, and occasionally remarkably preserved complete skeletons. Each fossil discovery adds another piece to a puzzle that spans hundreds of millions of years. The work is painstakingly slow and requires not just the discovery of fossils, but their careful extraction, preparation, and analysis using techniques that can reveal details invisible to the naked eye. When paleontologists examine the skull of an ancient marine predator, they can determine not just its size and shape, but often what it ate, how it hunted, and even something about its metabolism and behavior. Bite marks on fossilized prey tell stories of ancient struggles. Chemical analysis of bones can reveal what these animals ate and how warm their blood ran. Computer modeling allows scientists to estimate swimming speeds, bite forces, and the efficiency of different body shapes for underwater locomotion. The story we will tell tonight unfolds across 3 great eras of Earth's history. We begin in the Paleozoic era, when life was first experimenting with large, complex forms in the sea. Here we encounter the first true marine predators, creatures that established the template for what it meant to be an apex hunter in an aquatic environment. We will meet armored fish with jaws more powerful than those of any animal that followed them, and sea scorpions that grew to lengths of more than 8 feet. Moving forward through time, we enter the Mesozoic era, often called the Age of Reptiles. This was the golden age of marine reptile evolution, when creatures that had originated on land returned to the sea and became perfectly adapted for aquatic life. During this time, the oceans were dominated by 4 major groups of marine reptiles, each representing a different solution to the challenge of being a large predator in the sea. The ichthyosaurs evolved to look remarkably like modern dolphins, their bodies streamlined for high-speed pursuit of prey. Some species grew to enormous sizes, with the largest specimens approaching the length of a blue whale. These were not slow, lumbering giants, but active, warm-blooded predators, capable of diving to great depths and maintaining high speeds for extended periods. Plesiosaurs took a different approach, developing either extremely long necks for surprise attacks or massive heads and short necks for crushing prey with overwhelming bite force. The long-necked varieties could strike like serpents, their necks containing more vertebrae than the backbone of most entire animals. The short-necked forms, known as pliosaurs, possessed some of the most powerful jaws in the history of life on Earth. Mosasaurs represent perhaps the most remarkable evolutionary story of all. These marine lizards evolved from terrestrial ancestors in a relatively brief period of geological time. Yet they became the most successful marine predators of the late Cretaceous period. They developed adaptations for fully aquatic life, including specialized flippers, powerful tails for propulsion, and jaws designed for gripping struggling prey. Finally, we encounter the ultimate marine predator, Megalodon, a shark so large and powerful that it could prey upon whales. Though it lived millions of years after the great marine reptiles had vanished, Megalodon represents the culmination of shark evolution, and perhaps the most formidable predator ever to patrol the oceans. Each of these groups succeeded through different strategies, different adaptations, and different approaches to the fundamental challenge of capturing prey in a three-dimensional aquatic environment. Some relied on speed and agility. Others depended on overwhelming size and strength. Still others developed specialized feeding techniques that allowed them to exploit food sources unavailable to their competitors. The success of these ancient marine predators was not just a matter of individual prowess, but of their ability to form complex ecological relationships with other species. They shaped the evolution of their prey, which in turn influenced their own development in an endless cycle of adaptation and counter-adaptation. Prey animals developed defensive strategies such as thicker shells, faster swimming speeds, or schooling behaviors. Predators responded by evolving stronger jaws, better senses, or more sophisticated hunting techniques. Understanding how these ancient ecosystems functioned requires us to think about the ocean as a three-dimensional habitat where predators and prey interact not just on a single plane, but throughout the entire water column. Surface waters offer different hunting opportunities than the depths. Coastal areas provided different prey than the open ocean. Each zone required specialized adaptations, and successful predators often had to be versatile enough to hunt in multiple environments. The fossil record preserves not just individual animals, but entire ancient ecosystems. We can see evidence of food webs that sustained these giants, trace the relationships between predators and prey, and understand how changes in ocean chemistry or climate affected the distribution and success of different species. Some fossil sites preserve evidence of mass death events, where many animals died together, possibly providing insights into social behavior or migration patterns. As we embark on this journey through prehistoric seas, we will examine not just the animals themselves, but the worlds they inhabited. We will explore how scientists reconstruct these ancient environments from geological evidence, how they determine what these creatures looked like from fragmentary fossils, and how they piece together behaviors and lifestyles from subtle clues preserved in stone. The timeline we will follow spans more than 400 million years, from the first large predators of the Paleozoic seas to the last of the great marine reptiles at the end of the Cretaceous period. This is a story told in geological epochs, where individual lifespans become insignificant against the vast sweep of evolutionary time. Yet within that enormous time span, we find stories of remarkable individual adaptations, of evolutionary arms races that lasted for millions of years, and of sudden extinctions that changed the character of life in the oceans forever. Tonight, we will meet creatures whose very existence expanded the boundaries of what was possible for life on Earth. We will encounter predators so successful that they dominated their environments for periods of time longer than the entire history of our species. We will explore ancient seas where giants routinely grew to sizes that challenge our modern understanding of biological limits. These were the true monsters of prehistoric seas, not because they were evil or supernatural, but because they represented nature at its most ambitious, most creative, and most successful. Their stories are preserved in stone, waiting for us to read them and understand the remarkable history of life in Earth's ancient oceans. Let us begin this journey together, moving slowly through deep time to meet the creatures that once ruled the underwater world. The first chapter of our journey takes us back to the Paleozoic era, a time when the very concept of what a predator could become was still being written in the ancient seafloor. More than 500 million years ago, Earth's oceans were alien landscapes where life experimented with forms and strategies that would set the foundation for every marine ecosystem that followed. The water was warm and shallow, covering much of what would later become dry land, creating vast underwater plains where the earliest large predators began their evolutionary dance with prey. In these primordial seas, we encounter creatures that challenge our modern understanding of marine life. The oceans of the Cambrian period, roughly 540 million years ago, witnessed what scientists call the Cambrian explosion, a relatively rapid diversification of life that produced the first complex ecosystems our planet had ever seen. Among the strange and wonderful creatures that emerged during this time were the ancestors of every major group of animals that would follow, including the first true marine predators. Anomalocaris, whose name means strange shrimp, represents one of the earliest and most successful large predators in Earth's history. This remarkable creature grew to lengths of more than 6 feet, making it a giant in seas where most animals measured mere inches. Its body was unlike anything that exists today, with a flexible, segmented form that undulated through the water like a living ribbon. 2 massive appendages projected from the front of its head, each armed with sharp spines that could grasp and manipulate prey with surprising dexterity. The hunting strategy of Anomalocaris was both elegant and effective. Its large, compound eyes provided excellent vision in the clear waters of the Cambrian seas, allowing it to spot potential prey from considerable distances. When a target was identified, the creature would approach with undulating movements of its flexible body, its lateral fins providing precise control over direction and speed. The frontal appendages would then sweep forward, grasping the unfortunate victim and drawing it toward a circular mouth lined with sharp, inward-pointing teeth. What made Anomalocaris particularly formidable was not just its size, but its mobility. While many of its contemporaries were bottom-dwelling creatures that crawled slowly across the seafloor, Anomalocaris was an active swimmer capable of pursuing prey through the water column. This 3-dimensional hunting ability gave it access to prey that other predators could not reach, establishing a pattern that would be repeated throughout the history of marine predation. The success of Anomalocaris and its relatives shaped the early evolution of defensive strategies in marine animals. The trilobites, arthropods that would become among the most successful groups in Paleozoic seas, developed increasingly sophisticated eyes and the ability to roll into protective balls when threatened. Some grew spines and armor, plating specifically to defend against large predators. This evolutionary arms race between predator and prey would continue for hundreds of millions of years, driving innovation on both sides. As we move forward through the Paleozoic era, we encounter the Eurypterids, often called sea scorpions, though they were not true scorpions, and many species lived primarily in fresh water rather than marine environments. These arthropods represent one of the most successful groups of large predators in ancient waters, with some species reaching lengths of more than 8 feet. Their success spanned nearly 200 million years, making them among the longest-lived groups of large predators in Earth's history. The largest of the Eurypterids, Echolopterus, achieved a length of nearly 9 feet, making it the largest arthropod that ever lived. This massive predator inhabited the rivers and coastal waters of the late Silurian period, approximately 420 million years ago. Its body was heavily armored with thick, overlapping plates that provided protection while still allowing for flexible movement. The front appendages were modified into massive claws capable of crushing the shells of prey or grasping struggling victims. The success of eurypterids lay in their versatility. Unlike many marine predators that specialized in particular types of prey or hunting environments, eurypterids were generalists capable of adapting to a wide variety of ecological niches. Some species were ambush predators that buried themselves in sediment and waited for prey to pass overhead. Others were active hunters that pursued fish and other swimming animals through open water. Still others specialized in bottom-dwelling prey, using their powerful claws to extract mollusks and other creatures from their shells. The sensory systems of eurypterids were remarkably sophisticated for their time. Large compound eyes provided excellent vision both underwater and at the surface, while sensitive appendages could detect vibrations and chemical signals in the water. Some species possessed specialized organs that may have been capable of detecting electrical fields generated by the muscle contractions of potential prey, a hunting technique that would later evolve independently in sharks and other predators. The decline of the eurypterids coincided with the rise of another group of predators that would prove even more successful in the long term. The first fish had appeared during the Cambrian period, but it was not until the Devonian period, often called the Age of Fishes, that they began to seriously challenge arthropods for dominance in aquatic ecosystems. The evolution of fish represented a fundamental shift in the design of large aquatic predators, introducing new levels of speed, maneuverability, and sensory capability. Among the most remarkable of these early fish predators was Dunkleosteus, an armored giant that ruled the seas of the late Devonian period. This extraordinary creature measured up to 30 feet in length and possessed one of the most unusual and effective feeding mechanisms in the history of life on Earth. Instead of teeth, Dunkleosteus had evolved razor-sharp bony plates that functioned as self-sharpening cutting tools. These plates could slice through almost any material with devastating efficiency. The head of Dunkleosteus was encased in thick, articulated armor that provided protection while allowing the massive jaws to open and close with tremendous force. Scientists have calculated that the bite force of this ancient predator may have exceeded 11,000 pounds per square inch, making it one of the most powerful bites in the history of life. This crushing power allowed Dunkleosteus to prey upon heavily armored fish, sharks, and even other members of its own species. The hunting strategy of Dunkleosteus was based on overwhelming force rather than stealth or speed. Its heavily armored head made it nearly invulnerable to attack from the front, while its powerful jaws could crush prey that other predators could not handle. The creature was an ambush predator that would lie motionless near the bottom until suitable prey approached, then strike with lightning speed to deliver a devastating bite. The success of Dunkleosteus and other placoderm fish during the Devonian period established fish as the dominant vertebrate predators in aquatic environments. However, their reign would be relatively brief in geological terms. By the end of the Devonian period, most placoderms had become extinct, replaced by more advanced fish that possessed true teeth and more efficient swimming mechanisms. The transition from the age of fishes to the age of reptiles was gradual, spanning tens of millions of years during which both groups coexisted and competed for dominance in marine ecosystems. The first reptiles appeared during the late Paleozoic era, but it would be many millions of years before they ventured into marine environments. When they finally made that transition, they would prove to be among the most successful marine predators in Earth's history. The end of the Paleozoic era was marked by the largest mass extinction event in Earth's history, the Permian-Triassic extinction that eliminated more than 90% of marine species. This catastrophic event cleared the way for new groups to evolve and diversify, setting the stage for the age of marine reptiles that would follow. The creatures that survived this extinction were those that possessed the adaptability and resilience to endure rapidly changing environmental conditions. As we transition from the Paleozoic to the Mesozoic era, we see fundamental changes in the structure of marine ecosystems. The simple food webs of the early Paleozoic, dominated by filter feeders, scavengers, and relatively simple predators, gave way to complex networks of interaction involving multiple levels of predators and increasingly sophisticated prey species. The stage was set for the evolution of the most spectacular marine predators in Earth's history. The early Triassic period was a time of recovery and experimentation, following the devastating Permian extinction. In the nearly empty seas, new groups of animals began to explore the possibilities of marine life. Among these pioneers were the first marine reptiles, descendants of terrestrial animals that had returned to the sea and begun the long process of adapting to aquatic life. The transition from land to sea required fundamental changes in body structure, physiology, and behavior. Limbs that had evolved for walking on solid ground needed to be modified for swimming through water. Lungs designed for breathing air had to be adapted for extended periods underwater. Sensory systems developed for terrestrial environments required modification to function effectively in aquatic settings. The first marine reptiles retained many characteristics of their terrestrial ancestors, while gradually developing adaptations for aquatic life. Early forms, like Mesosaurus, possessed elongated skulls, filled with sharp teeth for catching fish, but their bodies remained relatively unchanged from their land-dwelling relatives. These primitive marine reptiles were likely semi-aquatic, spending time both in water and on land, much like modern marine iguanas or sea turtles. The success of these early marine reptiles encouraged further experimentation with aquatic lifestyles. Different groups began exploring various approaches to marine predation, leading to an extraordinary diversification of forms and feeding strategies. Some developed long, flexible necks for striking at prey from a distance. Others evolved massive heads and powerful jaws for crushing heavily armored victims. Still others became pursuit predators with streamlined bodies designed for high-speed swimming. The ichthyosaurs represent perhaps the most remarkable example of convergent evolution in the vertebrate fossil record. These marine reptiles independently evolved a body plan virtually identical to that of modern dolphins, despite being separated by more than 200 million years of evolutionary history. The similarity is so striking that early paleontologists initially mistook ichthyosaur fossils for those of ancient dolphins or primitive whales. The transformation of ichthyosaurs from terrestrial reptiles to fully aquatic predators occurred with remarkable speed in geological terms. Within a few million years of their first appearance in the fossil record, ichthyosaurs had developed all the major adaptations necessary for life in the open ocean. Their limbs had been transformed into steering flippers. Their bodies had become torpedo-shaped for efficient swimming, and their tails had evolved into powerful vertical flukes for propulsion. The eyes of ichthyosaurs were among the largest relative to body size of any vertebrate, some reaching diameters of more than 12 inches. These enormous eyes were adaptations for hunting in the deep ocean, where even a slight advantage in light-gathering ability could mean the difference between successful predation and starvation. The structure of ichthyosaur eyes suggests they were capable of diving to considerable depths, perhaps pursuing prey into the perpetual darkness of the deep sea. The diversity within the ichthyosaur group was remarkable, with species ranging from dolphin-sized coastal hunters to whale-sized giants of the open ocean. Some species retained relatively long, narrow skulls filled with sharp teeth for catching fish and squid. Others evolved shorter, more robust skulls, suggesting a diet of larger, harder prey. The largest species appear to have been filter feeders, using their massive mouths to strain small prey from the water column. The feeding strategy of the giant ichthyosaurs represented a completely different approach to marine predation. Rather than actively pursuing individual prey items, these massive creatures likely swam through areas of concentrated small prey with their mouths open, filtering vast quantities of water to extract tiny fish squid, and other small animals. This feeding method allowed them to achieve enormous sizes while reducing the energy expenditure required for active hunting. The success of ichthyosaurs was not limited to their remarkable adaptations for swimming and feeding. These animals also evolved sophisticated reproductive strategies that allowed them to give birth to live young in the water, eliminating the need to return to land for reproduction. Fossilized specimens preserve evidence of ichthyosaurs giving birth, with some fossils showing young animals in the process of being born tail first, a strategy that prevented drowning during the birthing process. The social behavior of ichthyosaurs remains largely mysterious, but evidence suggests that at least some species may have engaged in complex group behaviors. Mass death assemblages preserve dozens of individuals that died together, possibly during migration or while feeding in particularly rich areas. The presence of individuals of different ages and sizes in these assemblages suggests that ichthyosaurs may have formed mixed-age groups similar to those seen in modern whales and dolphins. The decline of the ichthyosaurs began during the Cretaceous period and appears to have been gradual rather than sudden. Competition from other marine reptiles, particularly the rapidly evolving mosasaurs, may have contributed to their decline. Changes in ocean chemistry and temperature may also have affected their prey species, reducing the abundance of the small fish and squid that form the basis of their diet. By the end of the Cretaceous period, ichthyosaurs had largely disappeared from the fossil record, though a few species may have survived into the early Cenozoic era. Their extinction marked the end of one of the most successful experiments in marine reptile evolution, a group that had dominated ocean ecosystems for more than 150 million years. The legacy of the ichthyosaurs extends far beyond their own evolutionary success. Their remarkable convergence with modern dolphins demonstrates the power of natural selection to produce similar solutions to similar environmental challenges. The study of ichthyosaur fossils has provided crucial insights into the evolution of marine adaptations and the ways in which terrestrial vertebrates can successfully colonize aquatic environments. The plesiosaurs represent a fundamentally different approach to marine reptile evolution, one that produced some of the most bizarre and successful predators in the history of life on Earth. Unlike the ichthyosaurs, which converged on a familiar dolphin-like body plan, plesiosaurs evolved forms that have no modern equivalent, creating new paradigms for aquatic predation that persisted for more than 130 million years. The basic plesiosaur body plan consisted of a relatively short, compact body powered by 4 large wing-like flippers. This unique locomotion system, often described as underwater flight, provided exceptional maneuverability and acceleration, allowing plesiosaurs to turn quickly and strike at prey with remarkable precision. The 4-flipper system was energetically expensive compared to the tail-driven propulsion used by most marine animals, but it offered advantages in maneuverability that made it highly effective for certain hunting strategies. The evolutionary divergence within the plesiosaur lineage produced 2 distinct groups that would dominate marine ecosystems through fundamentally different hunting strategies. The long-necked elasmosaurids developed necks of extraordinary length, containing as many as 76 individual vertebrae, more than twice the number found in the necks of most other vertebrates. These serpentine necks could extend to lengths greater than the animals' bodies, creating a hunting tool unlike anything that had existed before, or has existed since. The mechanics of the elasmosaurid neck required sophisticated muscular and skeletal adaptations. Each vertebra was connected to its neighbors by complex joints that allowed movement in multiple directions, while maintaining structural integrity under the stress of rapid strikes. Powerful muscles ran along the entire length of the neck, providing the strength necessary to rapidly extend and retract this remarkable appendage. The neck itself was relatively light, with hollow spaces in the vertebrae reducing weight while maintaining strength. Thalassomedon exemplifies the extreme development of the long-necked body plan. This remarkable predator inhabited the western interior seaway, a shallow sea that divided North America during the Cretaceous period. At 12 meters in total length, more than half of Thalassemodon's body consisted of its extraordinary neck. The creature's hunting strategy likely involved positioning its body in deeper water while extending its neck upward toward the surface, where schools of fish and other prey animals were most abundant. The strike pattern of Thalassemodon would have been both swift and precise. The long neck allowed the animal to remain motionless in the depths, while its head moved independently through the water column above. Prey animals swimming near the surface would have had little warning of the attack, as the massive body of the predator remained hidden in the darker water below. The element of surprise was crucial to the success of this hunting strategy, as the neck, while powerful, was not designed for prolonged struggles with large, vigorous prey. The sensory adaptations of the long-necked plesiosaurs were equally remarkable. Large eyes provided excellent vision in the dim light of deeper water, while the positioning of the nostrils near the top of the skull allowed the animals to breathe while keeping most of their bodies submerged. Some species may have possessed enhanced chemoreception, allowing them to detect the chemical traces left by schools of fish or other potential prey. The success of the elasmosaurid body plan is evident in both its longevity and its global distribution. Long-necked plesiosaurs are found in marine deposits on every continent, indicating that they successfully colonized ocean basins around the world. Their fossils span more than 80 million years, from the late Jurassic through the end of the Cretaceous period, demonstrating remarkable evolutionary success. The short-necked plesiosaurs, known as pliosaurs, represented a completely different approach to marine predation. These animals evolved massive heads and crushing jaws that could tackle prey far too large for their long-necked relatives to handle. The largest pliosaurs possessed skulls that could exceed 3 meters in length, with jaws filled with teeth the size of railroad spikes. These were not subtle predators, but overwhelming forces of nature that dominated their ecosystems through sheer power. Liopleurodon stands as perhaps the most famous representative of the pliosaur lineage. This Jurassic predator combined massive size with devastating hunting capabilities, creating what may have been the ultimate ambush predator of its time. The skull of Liopleurodon was perfectly designed for delivering crushing bites, with powerful jaw muscles that could generate bite forces exceeding those of any modern predator. The teeth were not just large, but were continuously replaced throughout the animal's life, ensuring that damaged or worn teeth did not compromise hunting efficiency. The hunting strategy of Liopleurodon relied on explosive bursts of speed, rather than sustained pursuit. The foreflipper locomotion system provided exceptional acceleration and maneuverability, allowing these massive predators to launch surprise attacks on unsuspecting prey. The short, powerful neck could deliver devastating bites with minimal warning, while the massive head provided the weight and momentum necessary to stun or kill large prey instantly. The sensory capabilities of pliosaurs were as impressive as their physical attributes. The skull structure suggests that these animals possessed highly developed olfactory systems capable of detecting chemical signals in the water from considerable distances. Like modern sharks, pliosaurs could likely track wounded or struggling prey by following scent trails through the water. The large eyes provided excellent vision, while specialized organs may have allowed them to detect the electrical fields generated by the muscle contractions of potential prey. The prey of pliosaurs included virtually everything that shared their marine environment. Fossilized stomach contents and bite marks on other marine reptiles provide direct evidence of their diet, which included fish, squid, other marine reptiles, and even members of their own species. The ability to tackle such a diverse range of prey made pliosaurs extremely successful predators and allowed them to occupy the top levels of marine food webs. The coexistence of long-necked and short-necked plesiosaurs demonstrates the effectiveness of ecological specialization in reducing competition between related species. While both groups were marine predators, their different hunting strategies allowed them to exploit different prey resources and occupied different ecological niches within the same marine environments. This partitioning of resources enabled both lineages to thrive simultaneously for tens of millions of years. The decline of the plesiosaurs began during the late Cretaceous period and appears to have been related to the rise of another group of marine predators that would prove even more successful. The mosasaurs represented a completely new approach to marine reptile evolution, one that would ultimately dominate the final chapters of the Mesozoic marine ecosystems. The evolutionary transition that produced the mosasaurs represents one of the most rapid and successful adaptations to marine life in the entire fossil record. These remarkable predators evolved from terrestrial lizard ancestors in a relatively brief period of geological time, yet they achieved complete mastery of marine environments and became the dominant predators of the late Cretaceous seas. Their success demonstrates the incredible evolutionary potential that exists when environmental opportunities arise and organisms possess the flexibility to exploit them. The ancestral forms that gave rise to mosasaurs were semi-aquatic lizards that lived along coastlines and in estuarine environments during the early Cretaceous period. These animals retained many characteristics of terrestrial lizards, while gradually developing adaptations that allowed them to exploit aquatic food resources. The transition involved modifications to virtually every aspect of their anatomy, from their skeletal structure to their cardiovascular and respiratory systems. The limbs of early mosasaurs underwent dramatic transformation as they adapted to aquatic locomotion. The bones became flattened and elongated, while the digits became enclosed in tissue to form paddle-like flippers. The joints between bones became modified to allow the coordinated movements necessary for efficient swimming, while the muscles that powered these movements became enlarged and specialized for aquatic propulsion. The skull and jaw adaptations of mosasaurs were equally dramatic. The skulls became elongated and streamlined, while the jaws developed powerful muscles capable of gripping and manipulating struggling prey underwater. The teeth evolved into backward curving hooks that prevented prey from escaping once captured. Some species developed specialized teeth for different types of prey, with some possessing crushing teeth for hard-shelled animals, and others retaining sharp, piercing teeth for soft-bodied prey. The most remarkable aspect of mosasaur evolution was the speed with which these adaptations occurred. Within approximately 20 million years, mosasaurs had evolved from semi-aquatic coastal dwellers into fully marine predators capable of competing successfully with marine reptiles that had been evolving in aquatic environments for more than 100 million years. This rapid evolution was facilitated by the flexibility of the squamate body plan and the availability of ecological niches left vacant by the declining ichthyosaurs. Tylosaurus represents the pinnacle of mosasaur evolution, a massive marine predator that dominated the western interior seaway during the late Cretaceous period. This extraordinary animal reached lengths of up to 15 meters, making it one of the largest marine predators of its time. The body was elongated and serpentine, with a powerful tail that provided the primary means of propulsion through the water. The skull was enormous, comprising nearly 1/4 of the total body length, and was filled with teeth designed for gripping large, struggling prey. The hunting strategy of Tylosaurus was based on pursuit and overwhelming power. Unlike the ambush tactics employed by many other marine reptiles, mosasaurs were pursuit predators that could maintain high speeds over extended periods. Their streamlined bodies and powerful swimming abilities allowed them to chase down prey in open water, while their massive jaws could deliver crushing bites that few animals could survive. The diet of Tylosaurus was remarkably diverse, reflecting the opportunistic feeding behavior that characterized most mosasaurs. Fossilized stomach contents and associated prey remains indicate that these predators consumed fish, sharks, marine birds, plesiosaurs, and even other mosasaurs. This dietary flexibility was one of the keys to their success, allowing them to exploit whatever prey resources were most abundant in their environment. The respiratory adaptations of mosasaurs were crucial to their success as marine predators. Unlike marine mammals, which must return to the surface to breathe air, mosasaurs possessed modified respiratory systems that allowed them to remain submerged for extended periods. The exact nature of these adaptations remains uncertain, but evidence suggests that mosasaurs may have possessed enlarged lung capacity and enhanced oxygen-carrying capacity in their blood. The reproductive strategies of mosasaurs were equally well adapted to marine life. Like ichthyosaurs, mosasaurs gave birth to live young in the water, eliminating the need to return to land for reproduction. Fossilized embryos and juveniles provide evidence of sophisticated parental care behaviors, with adults potentially protecting and feeding their offspring during the vulnerable early stages of life. The global distribution of mosasaurs demonstrates their remarkable success as marine predators. Fossil remains have been discovered on every continent, indicating that these animals successfully colonized marine environments worldwide. Different species evolved adaptations to local environmental conditions, creating a diverse array of forms that occupy different ecological niches within marine ecosystems. The social behavior of mosasaurs remains largely unknown, but evidence suggests that at least some species may have engaged in complex social interactions. Bite marks on mosasaur fossils indicate that these animals sometimes fought with members of their own species, possibly over territory, mates, or food resources. The size and placement of these bite marks suggests that mosasaur conflicts could be violent affairs that sometimes resulted in serious injury or death. The physiological capabilities of mosasaurs represented a unique adaptation among marine reptiles. Unlike the fully warm-blooded ichthyosaurs or the cold-blooded marine crocodiles, mosasaurs appear to have possessed an intermediate metabolic strategy that allowed them to regulate their body temperature to some degree, while remaining more energy efficient than fully endothermic animals. This physiological flexibility may have contributed to their success in diverse marine environments. The decline and extinction of the mosasaurs coincided with the end Cretaceous mass extinction event that eliminated non-avian dinosaurs and many other groups of organisms. The exact causes of mosasaur extinction remain debated, but factors likely included the catastrophic environmental changes associated with the asteroid impact, changes in ocean chemistry and temperature, and the collapse of marine food webs that had sustained these large predators. The legacy of the mosasaurs extends beyond their own evolutionary success to their role in shaping our understanding of marine reptile evolution and adaptation. Their rapid evolution from terrestrial ancestors demonstrates the potential for dramatic evolutionary change when environmental opportunities arise. Their sophisticated adaptations for marine life provide insights into the various strategies that vertebrates have employed to colonize aquatic environments. As we transition from the age of marine reptiles to the era of marine mammals and modern sharks, we encounter creatures that would prove to be among the most successful marine predators in Earth's history. The evolution of advanced sharks during the Cenozoic era produced predators that combined the best aspects of previous marine predator designs with innovations that would allow them to dominate marine ecosystems for tens of millions of years. The evolutionary history of sharks extends much further back in time than that of marine reptiles, with the first recognizable sharks appearing during the Devonian period more than 400 million years ago. However, it was during the Cenozoic era, following the extinction of the great marine reptiles, that sharks achieved their greatest success and evolved into the sophisticated predators we recognize today. The body plan that characterizes modern sharks represents one of the most successful designs for marine predation ever evolved. The cartilaginous skeleton provides flexibility and reduces weight while maintaining structural strength. The streamlined body shape minimizes drag while swimming, allowing for efficient movement through water. The heterocircle tail provides both propulsion and lift, enabling precise control over movement in three-dimensional space. The sensory systems of sharks represent perhaps the most sophisticated detection apparatus ever evolved by a marine predator. The lateral line system can detect minute pressure changes in the water caused by the movement of other organisms. Electroreception allows sharks to detect the electrical fields generated by the muscle contractions and nervous activity of potential prey. The olfactory system is so sensitive that some species can detect blood in the water at concentrations of less than 1 part per billion. The feeding mechanisms of sharks demonstrate remarkable diversity and specialization. Some species possess cutting teeth designed for slicing through flesh and bone. Others have evolved crushing teeth for dealing with hard-shelled prey. Still others have developed filtering apparatus for straining small organisms from the water column. This diversity of feeding strategies has allowed sharks to exploit virtually every available ecological niche in marine environments. The rise of megalodon during the Miocene epoch represents the ultimate expression of shark evolution and perhaps the most formidable marine predator that ever existed. This massive shark achieved lengths of up to 18 meters and weights of up to 50 tons, making it larger than most modern whales and capable of preying upon virtually any marine animal of its time. The hunting capabilities of megalodon were unparalleled in the history of marine predation. The massive jaws could open to a gape of nearly 2 meters, while the bite force exceeded 180,000 newtons, more than 10 times that of a modern great white shark. The teeth, some exceeding 7 inches in length, were perfectly designed for cutting through flesh and bone with devastating efficiency. The ecological role of megalodon was that of an apex predator that shaped entire marine ecosystems through its feeding behavior. The presence of such a massive predator influenced the evolution and behavior of its prey species, including early whales, seals, and large fish. The evolution of whale echolocation systems and the development of sophisticated anti-predator behaviors in marine mammals may have been partly driven by predation pressure from megalodon and its relatives. The global distribution of megalodon demonstrates the success of this ultimate marine predator. Fossil teeth have been discovered in marine deposits on every continent, indicating that these massive sharks successfully colonized ocean basins worldwide. The abundance of fossil teeth suggests that megalodon populations were substantial and that these predators played crucial roles in marine ecosystems for millions of years. The extinction of megalodon approximately 3 million years ago marks the end of the era of giant marine predators that had characterized Earth's oceans for hundreds of millions of years. The causes of this extinction remain debated, but likely factors include climate change, the evolution of faster and more agile prey species, and competition from emerging groups of marine mammals such as killer whales. The study of these ancient marine predators provides crucial insights into the evolution of predator-prey relationships and the factors that determine success in marine environments. Each group succeeded through different strategies and adaptations, yet all shared certain characteristics that appear to be essential for success as marine predators. Efficient locomotion, sophisticated sensory systems, and feeding mechanisms capable of capturing and processing prey effectively. The fossil record of marine predators also demonstrates the importance of environmental change in driving evolutionary innovation. Major transitions in marine predator communities often coincided with changes in ocean chemistry, temperature, or sea level that created new opportunities or challenges for existing groups. The ability to adapt to changing environmental conditions appears to have been crucial for long-term evolutionary success. The timeline of marine predator evolution spans more than 500 million years, during which numerous groups have risen to dominance and subsequently declined or become extinct. This pattern of rise and decline appears to be an inherent characteristic of life on Earth, driven by the constant interplay between environmental change, evolutionary innovation, and ecological interaction. The legacy of these ancient marine predators extends far beyond their own evolutionary histories. Their adaptations and strategies have influenced the evolution of modern marine ecosystems and continue to shape the interactions between predators and prey in today's oceans. The study of their fossils provides insights into fundamental biological processes and helps us understand the factors that determine success and failure in the natural world. The diversity of forms and strategies exhibited by ancient marine predators demonstrates the incredible creative potential of evolutionary processes. From the simple yet effective hunting mechanisms of Cambrian predators to the sophisticated sensory systems of modern sharks, evolution has produced an extraordinary array of solutions to the challenges of marine predation. The size achievements of some ancient marine predators challenge our understanding of the limits of biological systems. Creatures like Shastasaurus and Megalodon achieved sizes that rival or exceed those of the largest animals living today, demonstrating that enormous size can be a successful strategy for marine predators under the right environmental conditions. The extinction of the great marine reptiles and giant sharks reminds us of the fragility of even the most successful evolutionary lineages. Environmental change, competition from other groups, and random catastrophic events can eliminate species and entire ecosystems that had persisted for millions of years. This perspective provides important context for understanding the challenges facing marine ecosystems today. The methods used by scientists to reconstruct the lives and behaviors of these ancient predators demonstrate the power of paleontological research to reveal details about organisms that lived millions of years ago. Through careful analysis of fossils, comparative anatomy, and biomechanical modeling, researchers can determine not just what these animals looked like, but how they moved, what they ate, and how they interacted with their environment. The continuing discovery of new fossil species and the development of new analytical techniques ensure that our understanding of ancient marine predators will continue to evolve. Recent discoveries of giant ichthyosaurs and new species of mosasaurs demonstrate that the fossil record still holds many secrets about the diversity and capabilities of these remarkable creatures. The integration of paleontological evidence with modern ecological and evolutionary theory provides a comprehensive framework for understanding the factors that shape the evolution of marine predators throughout Earth's history. This interdisciplinary approach reveals patterns and processes that would not be apparent from studying either ancient or modern systems in isolation. As we conclude our journey through the prehistoric seas, we are left with a profound appreciation for the diversity and success of the marine predators that once ruled Earth's oceans. These creatures achieved remarkable adaptations for life in aquatic environments, developed sophisticated hunting strategies, and created complex ecological relationships that sustained marine ecosystems for hundreds of millions of years. The story of these ancient marine predators is ultimately a story about the power of evolution to create solutions to environmental challenges and the remarkable diversity of life that can emerge when organisms are given sufficient time and opportunity to adapt and diversify. Their legacy continues to influence marine ecosystems today and provides inspiration for our ongoing efforts to understand and protect the remarkable diversity of life in Earth's oceans. The monsters that ruled prehistoric seas were not creatures of fantasy, but real animals whose extraordinary adaptations and capabilities demonstrate the incredible potential of life on Earth. Their stories, preserved in stone and revealed through scientific investigation, remind us of the deep history that underlies all current life and the remarkable journey that has brought us to the present moment in Earth's continuing biological evolution. In the quiet depths of geological time, these ancient predators swam through seas that existed long before human consciousness emerged to contemplate their existence. Yet through the patient work of scientific investigation, we can now appreciate their remarkable achievements and understand their crucial role in shaping the biological world we inhabit today. Their reign may have ended millions of years ago, but their influence continues to ripple through time, affecting the evolution and ecology of modern marine life in ways both subtle and profound. Subtle and profound. The vast stretches of time that followed saw new experiments in marine predation, as life continued its relentless exploration of what was possible in the underwater realm. The early Mesozoic seas witnessed the emergence of predators that would refine and perfect the strategies pioneered by their Paleozoic predecessors, while developing entirely new approaches to the ancient challenge of capturing prey in three-dimensional aquatic space. The transition from the devastation of the Permian extinction to the recovery of marine ecosystems during the Triassic period created opportunities for evolutionary innovation on a scale rarely seen in Earth's history. Empty ecological niches awaited colonization by any group capable of adapting to the demands of marine predation. The reptiles that answered this call would prove to be among the most successful marine predators ever to evolve. The early marine reptiles of the Triassic period were experimental forms, testing different solutions to the fundamental problems of aquatic life. These pioneers retained many characteristics of their terrestrial ancestors, while gradually developing the specialized features that would define successful marine predation for the next 150 million years. Each adaptation represented a step toward greater efficiency in capturing prey, avoiding predators, and surviving in the demanding marine environment. Nothosaurus represents one of these early experiments in marine reptile design. This semi-aquatic predator inhabited the shallow seas of the Middle Triassic, approximately 240 million years ago. Its elongated skull was filled with sharp, interlocking teeth perfectly designed for gripping slippery fish and other aquatic prey. The neck was long and flexible, allowing for quick strikes at passing targets, while the limbs showed the first stages of modification toward the paddle-like appendages that would characterize later marine reptiles. The lifestyle of Nothosaurus bridged the gap between terrestrial and fully aquatic existence. These animals were equally comfortable on land and in water, using shorelines as basking areas and breeding grounds, while venturing into deeper water to hunt. This amphibious lifestyle provided access to prey resources unavailable to either fully terrestrial or fully aquatic predators, while also offering escape routes from threats in either environment. The success of Nothosaurus and its relatives encouraged further exploration of marine lifestyles among reptilian lineages. Different groups began experimenting with various levels of aquatic adaptation, leading to a remarkable diversification of forms and ecological strategies. Some lineages developed increasingly sophisticated swimming abilities while retaining the option of terrestrial locomotion. Others committed fully to aquatic life, undergoing dramatic anatomical reorganization to achieve maximum efficiency in their marine environment. The placodonts represent another fascinating early experiment in marine reptile evolution. These unusual creatures developed massive crushing teeth and powerful jaw muscles, specifically adapted for feeding on hard-shelled prey, such as bivalves and brachiopods. The largest placodonts evolved body armor consisting of thick, overlapping plates that provided protection from predators, while they fed in shallow, reef-like environments. Henodus exemplifies the extreme specialization achieved by some placodont lineages. This remarkable creature developed a body plan superficially similar to that of a turtle, with a flattened shell covering most of its body and a toothless beak adapted for filter feeding. The convergent evolution of turtle-like characteristics in a completely unrelated reptilian lineage demonstrates the effectiveness of this body plan for certain types of marine life. The feeding strategy of Henodus involved filtering small organisms from the water column, a technique that required sophisticated modifications to both the skull and the digestive system. The loss of teeth was accompanied by the development of specialized structures for straining prey from water, while the digestive tract became adapted for processing large quantities of small food items. This feeding strategy allowed Henodus to exploit food resources that were unavailable to predatory reptiles. The evolutionary success of early marine reptiles was not uniform across all lineages. Many experimental forms proved to be evolutionary dead ends, unable to compete effectively with more specialized groups or adapt to changing environmental conditions. The placodonts and nothosaurs, despite their early success, would eventually be replaced by more advanced marine reptiles that achieved greater efficiency in aquatic environments. The rise of the true marine reptile dynasties began during the late Triassic period, as several lineages simultaneously achieved complete adaptation to aquatic life. These groups would go on to dominate marine ecosystems for the remainder of the Mesozoic era, establishing patterns of predation and ecological interaction that would persist for more than 100 million years. The ichthyosaurs emerged during this period as the first reptilian lineage to achieve complete convergence with the body plan of modern dolphins and sharks. The speed of this evolutionary transformation was remarkable, with early ichthyosaurs showing dramatic modifications to virtually every aspect of their anatomy within a few million years of their first appearance in the fossil record. The skeletal changes that characterized early ichthyosaur evolution were comprehensive and coordinated. The vertebral column became more flexible to accommodate the undulatory swimming motions required for efficient aquatic locomotion. The ribs developed specialized joints that allowed for the compression and expansion necessary for diving to depth. The limbs underwent complete reorganization, with bones becoming flattened and elongated to form effective steering surfaces. Mixosaurus represents an early stage in this remarkable transformation. This Triassic ichthyosaur retained some primitive characteristics while displaying clear adaptations for aquatic life. The skull was elongated and filled with sharp teeth for catching fish, while the limbs showed intermediate stages of modification toward the paddle-like appendages of later forms. The tail had begun to develop the asymmetrical structure that would become characteristic of advanced ichthyosaurs. The success of Mixosaurus and its contemporaries established ichthyosaurs as major players in Triassic marine ecosystems. Their ability to pursue prey through three-dimensional space gave them significant advantages over bottom-dwelling predators, while their streamlined bodies allowed them to exploit the open ocean environment more effectively than semi-aquatic competitors. The continued evolution of ichthyosaurs during the late Triassic and early Jurassic periods produced increasingly sophisticated forms that pushed the boundaries of what was possible for aquatic reptiles. These animals developed not only remarkable swimming abilities, but also sophisticated sensory systems that allowed them to hunt effectively in a variety of marine environments. The eyes of advanced ichthyosaurs became enormous relative to their body size, reaching diameters that exceeded those of any other vertebrate. These massive eyes were supported by rings of bone plates that prevented collapse under the pressure of deep diving. The optical capabilities of these eyes suggest that ichthyosaurs were capable of hunting in conditions of extremely low light, whether in deep water or during nighttime hours. Temnodontosaurus represents the culmination of early ichthyosaur evolution. This massive predator reached lengths of more than 12 meters and possessed all the adaptations necessary for life as an apex predator in the open ocean. The skull was perfectly proportioned for high-speed pursuit of prey, with elongated jaws filled with large, sharp teeth. The body was completely streamlined, with every surface optimized for reducing drag during swimming. The hunting strategy of Temnodontosaurus combined speed, endurance, and sophisticated sensory capabilities. These predators were capable of sustained high-speed swimming, allowing them to run down prey over considerable distances. The large eyes provided excellent vision for spotting potential targets, while the streamlined body shape minimized the energy expenditure required for pursuit. The powerful jaws could deliver devastating bites that few marine animals could survive. The prey of Temnodontosaurus included a wide variety of marine organisms, from fish and squid to smaller marine reptiles. Stomach contents preserved in some specimens reveal that these predators were opportunistic feeders that would consume virtually any appropriately sized prey they encountered. This dietary flexibility was one of the keys to their success, allowing them to thrive in different marine environments and during periods of environmental change. The social behavior of early ichthyosaurs remains largely unknown, but evidence suggests that at least some species may have engaged in group hunting or migration behaviors. Mass death assemblages preserve multiple individuals that died together, possibly during feeding aggregations or while traveling in groups. The presence of different age classes in these assemblages suggests that ichthyosaur social structure may have been more complex than previously thought. The reproductive strategies of ichthyosaurs represented a crucial adaptation for fully aquatic life. Unlike their terrestrial ancestors, which laid eggs on land, ichthyosaurs gave birth to live young in the water. This adaptation eliminated the need to return to land for reproduction and allowed ichthyosaurs to exploit marine environments that were far from any suitable nesting beaches. Fossil evidence of ichthyosaur birth has been preserved in remarkable detail, with some specimens showing young animals in the process of being born. The tail-first delivery pattern observed in these fossils suggests that ichthyosaurs had evolved sophisticated mechanisms to prevent their offspring from drowning during the birth process. This adaptation parallels similar behaviors seen in modern marine mammals, demonstrating convergent evolution in reproductive strategies. The success of ichthyosaurs during the early Mesozoic established them as one of the dominant groups of marine predators for the next 100 million years. Their continued evolution would produce some of the largest marine reptiles ever to exist, while their ecological success would influence the development of marine ecosystems throughout the Mesozoic era. Parallel to the rise of the ichthyosaurs, another group of marine reptiles was developing a fundamentally different approach to aquatic predation. The early plesiosaurs emerged during the late Triassic period with a body plan that emphasized maneuverability over speed, creating predators that excelled in complex three-dimensional hunting situations. The ancestral forms that gave rise to plesiosaurs were small, long-necked reptiles that inhabited shallow marine environments during the early Mesozoic. These animals possessed relatively primitive swimming adaptations but displayed the basic body plan that would be elaborated into one of the most successful marine reptile designs in Earth's history. Plesiosaurus, the animal that gave its name to the entire group, represents an early stage in the evolution of the classic plesiosaur body plan. This Jurassic predator possessed a moderately long neck, a compact body, and 4 large flippers that provided the primary means of locomotion. The skull was relatively small compared to the body, with jaws filled with sharp teeth designed for catching fish and squid. The swimming mechanism employed by Plesiosaurus was unique among marine reptiles. Rather than relying on tail-driven propulsion like most aquatic animals, plesiosaurs used their 4 large flippers to generate thrust through coordinated rowing motions. This system, often compared to underwater flight, provided exceptional maneuverability at the cost of energy efficiency. The advantages of the 4-flipper locomotion system became apparent in hunting situations that required precise positioning and rapid changes in direction. Plesiosaurs could hover motionless in the water, accelerate quickly from a stationary position, and turn with remarkable agility. These capabilities made them extremely effective predators in environments where prey was abundant but required careful stalking and precise timing to capture. The sensory adaptations of early plesiosaurs complemented their swimming abilities perfectly. Large eyes provided excellent vision for spotting prey, while the long neck allowed the head to be positioned independently of the body for optimal viewing angles. The nostrils were positioned on the top of the skull, enabling the animals to breathe while keeping most of their body submerged. The feeding strategy of Plesiosaurus involved using the long neck as a striking weapon, extending it rapidly to capture prey that came within range. The relatively small head and sharp teeth were perfectly designed for grasping fish and squid, while the flexible neck could be maneuvered to attack from unexpected angles. This hunting technique was particularly effective against schooling fish, which could be approached stealthily and captured with sudden strikes. The success of the early plesiosaur body plan encouraged further evolutionary experimentation with neck length and head size. Different lineages began exploring the extremes of these characteristics. leading to the evolution of two distinct groups that would dominate different aspects of marine predation throughout the Mesozoic era. The long-necked elasmosaurids pushed the plesiosaur neck to extraordinary lengths, creating predators with strike ranges that exceeded those of any other marine animal. The evolution of these extremely long necks required sophisticated engineering solutions to problems of structural support, muscular control, and hydrodynamic efficiency. The neck of an advanced elasmosaurid contained more individual vertebrae than the entire vertebral column of most other animals. Each vertebra was connected to its neighbors through complex joint systems that allowed movement in multiple directions while maintaining the structural integrity necessary for rapid strikes. The muscles that controlled neck movement were arranged in sophisticated patterns that provided both power and precision. Styxosaurus represents the extreme development of the long-necked body plan. This Cretaceous predator possessed a neck that contained 76 vertebrae and extended to a length of more than 7 meters. The total body length of Styxosaurus approached 14 meters, making it one of the largest marine reptiles of its time. The extraordinary neck allowed this predator to strike at prey from distances that were impossible for any other marine animal. The hunting strategy employed by Styxosaurus required careful positioning and precise timing. The animal would likely position its large body in deeper water while extending its neck upward toward areas where prey was more abundant. The element of surprise was crucial, as the massive body remained hidden while only the relatively small head was visible to potential prey. The mechanical challenges of operating such an extremely long neck were considerable. The neck had to be strong enough to deliver powerful strikes while remaining flexible enough for complex maneuvering. The muscles required to control this appendage represented a significant portion of the animal's total body mass, while the nervous system had to coordinate the movement of dozens of individual vertebral joints. The prey of Styxosaurus likely consisted primarily of fish, squid, and other soft-bodied marine animals that could be captured and swallowed by the relatively small head. The long neck provided access to prey resources that were unavailable to other predators, allowing elasmosaurids to exploit ecological niches that remained vacant in marine ecosystems. The success of the long-necked plesiosaurs was demonstrated by their global distribution and their persistence through more than 80 million years of Earth history. These remarkable predators are found in marine deposits on every continent, indicating that they successfully colonized ocean basins worldwide and adapted to a wide variety of marine environments. While the elasmosaurids were developing increasingly long necks and specialized feeding strategies, another lineage of plesiosaurs was exploring the opposite extreme. The pliosaurs evolved massive heads and powerful jaws that could tackle prey far too large for their long-necked relatives to handle. The evolutionary transition from long-necked to short-necked plesiosaurs involved fundamental changes in body proportions and hunting strategies. The neck became shorter and more muscular, while the head grew dramatically in both size and power. The teeth evolved from simple fish-catching spikes into massive crushing implements capable of dealing with heavily armored prey. Peloneusts represents an early stage in pliosaur evolution, showing the initial development of the massive head and short neck that would characterize the group. This Jurassic predator possessed a skull that was proportionally larger than that of contemporary long-necked plesiosaurs, with jaws filled with robust teeth designed for gripping and crushing prey. The hunting strategy of Peloneustes differed fundamentally from that of its long-necked relatives. Rather than relying on stealth and precise strikes, pliosaurs were ambush predators that depended on overwhelming power to subdue their prey. The short muscular neck could deliver devastating bites with minimal warning, while the massive head provided the momentum necessary to stun or kill large prey instantly. The continued evolution of pliosaurs during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods produced increasingly massive and powerful predators. These animals grew to enormous sizes while developing bite forces that exceeded those of any other marine predator. The largest pliosaurs possessed skulls that could exceed 3 meters in length, with teeth the size of railroad spikes. Kronosaurus exemplifies the extreme development of the pliosaur body plan. This Cretaceous predator reached lengths of more than 10 meters, with a skull that comprised nearly 1/4 of its total body length. The massive jaws were powered by enormous muscles that could generate bite forces exceeding those of any modern predator. The teeth were continuously replaced throughout the animal's life, ensuring that damaged or worn teeth did not compromise hunting efficiency. The prey of Kronosaurus included virtually everything that shared its marine environment. Fossilized stomach contents reveal that these massive predators consumed large fish, marine reptiles, and even members of their own species. The ability to tackle such diverse and dangerous prey made pliosaurs apex predators in every marine ecosystem they inhabited. The sensory capabilities of pliosaurs were as impressive as their physical attributes. The skull structure indicates that these animals possessed highly developed olfactory systems capable of detecting chemical signals in the water from considerable distances. Like modern sharks, pliosaurs could track wounded or struggling prey by following scent trails through the water. The swimming abilities of pliosaurs were optimized for explosive bursts of speed rather than sustained pursuit. The four-flipper locomotion system provided exceptional acceleration and maneuverability, allowing these massive predators to launch surprise attacks on unsuspecting prey. The short, powerful flippers could generate enormous thrust for brief periods, while the streamlined body shape minimized drag during high-speed approaches. The coexistence of long-necked and short-necked plesiosaurs in the same marine environments demonstrates the effectiveness of ecological specialization in reducing competition between related species. While both groups were marine predators, their different hunting strategies allowed them to exploit different prey resources and occupy different ecological niches. The relationship between elasmosaurids and pliosaurs was not simply one of coexistence, but of complex ecological interaction. Pliosaurs were certainly capable of preying upon smaller elasmosaurids, while the largest elasmosaurids may have been too large for all but the most massive pliosaurs to attack successfully. This size-based partitioning of predatory roles created stable ecological relationships that persisted for tens of millions of years. The decline of the plesiosaurs began during the late Cretaceous period and appears to have been gradual rather than sudden. Competition from newly evolved mosasaurs, changes in prey availability, and shifting ocean conditions all likely contributed to their eventual extinction. The end of the plesiosaur lineages marked the conclusion of one of the most successful experiments in marine reptile evolution. The legacy of plesiosaur evolution extends far beyond their own success to their influence on our understanding of a vertebrate adaptation to marine environments. The unique four-flipper locomotion system has no modern equivalent, making plesiosaurs crucial for understanding the range of solutions that evolution can produce for the challenges of aquatic life. The study of plesiosaur biomechanics has provided insights into the relationships between body form and function that apply broadly to vertebrate evolution. The trade-offs between speed and maneuverability, the mechanical constraints of extremely long necks, and the energetic costs of different swimming strategies all have implications for understanding adaptation in other groups. The preservation of plesiosaur fossils has been exceptionally good in many cases, allowing scientists to study not just their skeletal anatomy, but also aspects of their soft tissue anatomy and behavior. Fossilized stomach contents, skin impressions, and even embryos have provided detailed information about how these animals lived and reproduced. The discovery of plesiosaur rookeries and mass death assemblages has revealed aspects of their social behavior that were previously unknown. Evidence suggests that at least some plesiosaurs may have engaged in complex social interactions, including possible parental care of juveniles and seasonal migration to specific breeding or feeding areas. The geographic distribution of plesiosaur fossils demonstrates their remarkable success as marine predators. Representatives of both long-necked and short-necked lineages are found in marine deposits from every continent, indicating that these animals successfully colonized ocean basins worldwide and adapted to a wide variety of environmental conditions. The temporal distribution of plesiosaurs spans more than 130 million years, from their first appearance in the late Triassic to their extinction at the end of the Cretaceous period. This remarkable longevity demonstrates the effectiveness of the basic plesiosaur body plan and the ability of the group to adapt to changing environmental conditions over geological timescales. The evolutionary relationships within the plesiosaur lineages have proven to be remarkably complex, with multiple independent origins of long necks, large heads, and specialized feeding adaptations. This complexity demonstrates that evolution rarely follows simple linear progressions, but instead involves extensive experimentation and convergent development of similar solutions to environmental challenges. As the Mesozoic era progressed toward its conclusion, the marine reptile dynasties that had dominated ocean ecosystems for more than 100 million years faced new challenges and competition. The rise of the mosasaurs during the Cretaceous period introduced a fundamentally different approach to marine predation, one that would ultimately prove more successful than the strategies employed by their predecessors. The evolutionary origin of mosasaurs from terrestrial lizard ancestors represents one of the most rapid and dramatic adaptive radiations in the vertebrate fossil record. Within approximately 20 million years, these animals evolved from semi-aquatic coastal dwellers into the dominant marine predators of the late Cretaceous seas. The ancestral forms that gave rise to mosasaurs were monitor lizards that lived in coastal environments during the early Cretaceous period. These animals possessed the basic body plan and physiological capabilities that would prove crucial for their descendants' success in marine environments. The flexible spine, powerful swimming muscles, and sophisticated sensory systems of monitor lizards provided the foundation for the remarkable adaptations that would follow. Dallosaurus represents an early stage in the transition from terrestrial to marine life among mosasaur ancestors. This small, semi-aquatic reptile retained functional limbs for terrestrial locomotion while developing initial adaptations for swimming. The skull shows early modifications for capturing aquatic prey, while the vertebral column displays the flexibility that would become crucial for efficient swimming in later forms. The lifestyle of Dallosaurus bridged the gap between terrestrial and aquatic existence, much like that of modern marine iguanas. These animals were equally comfortable on land and in water, using coastal environments for basking and reproduction, while venturing into marine waters to feed. This amphibious lifestyle provided access to both terrestrial and marine food resources while maintaining escape options in either environment. The success of these early transitional forms encouraged further exploration of marine lifestyles among varanoid lizards. Different lineages began experimenting with various levels of aquatic adaptation, leading to rapid diversification and specialization for marine predation. The flexibility of the squamate body plan proved remarkably amenable to modification for aquatic life. The transformation of the mosasaur body plan proceeded through coordinated changes in virtually every anatomical system. The limbs underwent dramatic restructuring, with bones becoming flattened and elongated, while digits became enclosed in soft tissue to form paddle-like flippers. The tail developed a vertical fluke similar to that of sharks, providing the primary means of propulsion through the water. Plate carpus represents an intermediate stage in mosasaur evolution, displaying a combination of primitive and advanced characteristics. The limbs had been transformed into effective swimming appendages, while the tail showed the beginning of the vertical expansion that would characterize later forms. The skull retained the basic monitor lizard structure while developing adaptations for gripping struggling aquatic prey. The hunting strategy of plate carpus combined pursuit and ambush techniques depending on the type of prey and environmental conditions. These predators were capable of both sustained swimming for chasing down fast prey and explosive bursts of speed for surprise attacks. The flexible body allowed for complex maneuvering during pursuit, while the powerful jaws could deliver crushing bites. The continued evolution of mosasaurs during the late Cretaceous period produced increasingly large and specialized forms. These animals grew to enormous sizes, while developing hunting capabilities that exceeded those of any previous marine reptile. The largest mosasaurs rivaled modern whales in size, while possessing the predatory capabilities of giant crocodiles. Prognathodon exemplifies the massive predators that emerged during the peak of mosasaur evolution. This enormous reptile reached lengths of more than 12 meters and possessed one of the most powerful bites in the history of marine predation. The skull was massive and heavily built, with jaws capable of crushing the shells of large ammonites and the bones of other marine reptiles. The feeding adaptations of Prognathodon were remarkably sophisticated, with different tooth types positioned at various locations along the jaw for specific functions. The front teeth were designed for gripping and piercing, while the back teeth were modified for crushing and cutting. This dental specialization allowed these predators to handle a wide variety of prey types with maximum efficiency. The prey of Prognathodon included virtually every type of marine life available in Cretaceous seas. Fossilized stomach contents and bite marks on other fossils provide direct evidence of their diet, which included fish, sharks, marine reptiles, ammonites, and even other mosasaurs. This dietary versatility was one of the keys to their remarkable success. The global distribution of mosasaur fossils demonstrates their extraordinary success as marine predators. Representatives of the group are found in marine deposits on every continent, indicating that these animals successfully colonized ocean basins worldwide. Different species evolved adaptations to local environmental conditions, creating a diverse array of forms that occupied different ecological niches. The social behavior of mosasaurs remains largely mysterious, but evidence suggests that these animals engaged in complex intraspecific interactions. Bite marks on mosasaur fossils indicate that these predators sometimes fought with members of their own species, possibly over territory, mates, or food resources. The size and placement of these bite marks suggest that mosasaur conflicts were violent affairs that sometimes resulted in serious injury or death. The reproductive strategies of mosasaurs were well adapted to fully marine life. Like ichthyosaurs and plesiosaurs, mosasaurs gave birth to live young in the water, eliminating the need to return to land for reproduction. Fossilized embryos and juveniles provide evidence of sophisticated parental care behaviors, with adults potentially protecting and feeding their offspring. The physiological capabilities of mosasaurs represented a unique adaptation among marine reptiles. These animals appear to have possessed metabolic capabilities intermediate between those of modern reptiles and mammals, allowing them to maintain higher activity levels than typical reptiles while remaining more energy efficient than fully warm-blooded animals. The success of mosasaurs was not limited to their individual prowess as predators, but extended to their role in shaping late Cretaceous marine ecosystems. These animals influenced the evolution of their prey species, the structure of marine food webs, and the distribution of other marine predators. Their dominance created selective pressures that drove innovation in both predatory and defensive strategies among marine organisms. The decline of mosasaurs coincided with the broader environmental changes that would bring the age of marine reptiles to a close. The asteroid impact that marked the end of the Cretaceous period created catastrophic changes in ocean chemistry, temperature, and food web structure that these specialized predators could not survive. Their extinction marked the end of an era that had lasted for more than 150 million years. The aftermath of the Cretaceous extinction created new opportunities for marine predators, but the groups that would rise to fill the vacant ecological niches were fundamentally different from those that had preceded them. The age of giant marine reptiles was over, but the evolutionary experimentation that would produce the next generation of ocean predators was just beginning. The early Cenozoic era witnessed the gradual recovery of marine ecosystems from the devastation of the end Cretaceous extinction. In the absence of mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, and other giant marine reptiles, new groups began to explore the possibilities of large-scale marine predation. Among these emerging predators, the sharks would prove to be the most successful, building upon adaptations that had been refined over hundreds of millions of years. The evolutionary history of sharks extends far deeper into geological time than that of any marine reptile. The first recognizable sharks appeared during the Devonian period, more than 400 million years ago, making them among the most ancient of vertebrate predators. However, their early forms were relatively small and occupied limited ecological niches within marine ecosystems dominated by other groups. The basic shark body plan that emerged during the Paleozoic era represented a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. The cartilaginous skeleton provided flexibility while reducing weight, allowing for efficient movement through water. The streamlined body shape minimized drag during swimming, while the asymmetrical tail provided both propulsion and lift. These fundamental design features would prove so successful that they have remained virtually unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. The sensory systems that characterize modern sharks began their development during these early periods. The lateral line system, which detects pressure waves and water movements, allowed sharks to sense the presence of other organisms even in murky water or complete darkness. The development of electroreception provided an additional sensory modality that could detect the bioelectric fields generated by all living organisms. The feeding mechanisms of early sharks were relatively simple compared to those of later forms, but they established the basic principles that would guide shark evolution for hundreds of millions of years. The development of multiple rows of replaceable teeth ensured that damaged or worn teeth could be quickly replaced without compromising feeding efficiency. The evolution of powerful jaw muscles and sophisticated bite mechanisms allowed sharks to tackle increasingly large and well-defended prey. Helicoprion represents one of the most unusual experiments in early shark evolution. This bizarre predator possessed a lower jaw that extended into a spiral whorl containing hundreds of teeth. The exact function of this remarkable structure remains debated, but it likely served as a specialized tool for capturing and processing soft-bodied prey, such as ammonites and other cephalopods. The feeding strategy employed by Helicoprion was unlike that of any modern shark. The spiral tooth whorl may have functioned as a cutting or slicing implement, allowing the shark to process prey that was too large to swallow whole. The continuously growing spiral ensured that sharp cutting edges were always available, while the unusual jaw structure may have provided leverage for dealing with struggling prey. The success of Helicoprion and other early sharks established the group as important predators in Paleozoic marine ecosystems. However, their role remained secondary to that of other predator groups, such as eurypterids and early marine reptiles. It would not be until much later in Earth's history that sharks would achieve their ultimate success as marine predators. The transition through the Mesozoic era saw gradual refinement of shark anatomy and hunting capabilities. While marine reptiles dominated the large predator niches in most marine ecosystems, sharks continued to evolve and diversify, exploring various ecological roles and developing increasingly sophisticated adaptations for marine predation. The development of more efficient swimming mechanisms allowed Mesozoic sharks to compete more effectively with marine reptiles for prey resources. The evolution of more powerful tail fins provided greater thrust and maneuverability, while refinements to body shape reduced drag and improved swimming efficiency. These improvements allowed sharks to pursue prey over longer distances and capture faster swimming targets. The sensory capabilities of Mesozoic sharks became increasingly sophisticated, with enhanced electroreception and improved lateral line systems providing superior prey detection abilities. The development of more sensitive olfactory systems allowed sharks to track prey over considerable distances by following chemical trails in the water. These sensory improvements gave sharks significant advantages in locating prey, especially in environments where visibility was limited. The diversity of shark forms during the Mesozoic era was remarkable, with species ranging from small coastal hunters to large open ocean predators. Some lineages developed specialized feeding adaptations for particular types of prey, while others remained generalized predators, capable of exploiting whatever food resources were available. This ecological flexibility would prove crucial to shark survival through periods of environmental change. Cretoxorhina exemplifies the large sharks that evolved during the Cretaceous period to compete with marine reptiles for dominance in ocean ecosystems. This massive predator reached lengths of more than 7 meters and possessed adaptations that made it one of the most formidable marine predators of its time. The teeth were large and serrated, perfectly designed for cutting through flesh and bone with devastating efficiency. The hunting capabilities of Cretoxorhina were enhanced by its remarkable swimming speed and endurance. Unlike marine reptiles, which relied primarily on anaerobic metabolism for burst swimming, sharks had evolved more efficient cardiovascular and respiratory systems that allowed for sustained high-speed pursuit of prey. This physiological advantage gave sharks significant benefits in open ocean hunting situations. The prey of Cretoxorhina included a wide variety of marine organisms, from large fish and marine birds to smaller marine reptiles. Bite marks on fossilized plesiosaurs and mosasaurs provide direct evidence that these giant sharks were capable of attacking and killing even the largest marine reptiles of their time. This predatory capability established sharks as apex predators in late Cretaceous marine ecosystems. The survival of sharks through the end Cretaceous extinction event positioned them to exploit the ecological opportunities created by the disappearance of marine reptiles. Unlike the highly specialized marine reptiles, sharks possessed the physiological flexibility and ecological adaptability necessary to survive rapid environmental changes and exploit new prey resources. The early Cenozoic era witnessed an explosive radiation of shark diversity as these predators expanded into ecological niches previously occupied by extinct marine reptiles. The absence of competition from large marine reptiles allowed sharks to grow to unprecedented sizes while developing hunting capabilities that exceeded those of any previous marine predator. The evolution of the lamniform sharks during the Paleocene and Eocene epochs produced some of the most sophisticated marine predators in Earth's history. These sharks combined massive size with advanced physiological capabilities, creating predators that could maintain high activity levels while pursuing prey across entire ocean basins. Otodus represents an early stage in the evolution of the giant lamniform sharks. This Paleocene predator reached lengths of more than 10 meters and possessed teeth that were perfectly designed for gripping and cutting large prey. The serrated edges of the teeth could slice through flesh and bone with remarkable efficiency, while the powerful jaws could deliver crushing bites that few marine animals could survive. The hunting strategy employed by Otodus combined elements of both pursuit and ambush predation. These sharks were capable of sustained high-speed swimming for chasing down fast prey, while their massive size and powerful bite allowed them to overwhelm larger targets through sheer force. The combination of speed and power made Otodus virtually unstoppable in its marine environment. The continued evolution of giant sharks during the Oligocene and Miocene epochs produced increasingly massive predators that pushed the boundaries of what was possible for marine predators. The development of enhanced thermoregulation allowed these sharks to maintain optimal body temperatures for maximum hunting efficiency, while improvements to cardiovascular systems supported the metabolic demands of enormous body size. Carcharicles represents the culmination of giant shark evolution during the Miocene epoch. This massive predator reached lengths that approached those of modern blue whales, while possessing predatory capabilities that exceeded those of any marine animal that had preceded it. The teeth were enormous, some exceeding 7 inches in length, and were perfectly designed for cutting through the largest prey available in Miocene oceans. The ecological role of Carcharicles was that of an apex predator that shaped entire marine ecosystems through its feeding behavior. The presence of such massive predators influenced the evolution and behavior of prey species, including early whales, pinnipeds, and large fish. The development of whale echolocation systems and sophisticated anti-predator behaviors in marine mammals may have been partly driven by predation pressure from these giant sharks. The hunting capabilities of carcharoccals were unparalleled in the history of marine predation. The massive jaws could open to a gape that exceeded 2 meters, while the bite force approached 200,000 newtons. This crushing power, combined with razor-sharp teeth, made these sharks capable of taking down any marine animal of their time, including the largest whales. The global distribution of carcharoccals fossils demonstrates the worldwide success of these ultimate marine predators. Fossil teeth have been discovered in marine deposits on every continent, indicating that these sharks successfully colonized ocean basins across the globe. The abundance of fossil teeth suggests that populations were substantial, and that these predators played crucial roles in marine ecosystems for millions of years. The feeding behavior of carcharoccales was remarkably sophisticated, with evidence suggesting that these sharks employed complex hunting strategies depending on the type and size of prey. Bite marks on whale fossils indicate that these predators could attack prey much larger than themselves, using their massive teeth to inflict crippling wounds that would eventually lead to the death of their victims. The social behavior of giant sharks remains largely unknown, but evidence suggests that these predators may have engaged in complex intraspecific interactions. Bite marks on shark vertebrae indicate that these animals sometimes fought with members of their own species, possibly over territory or food resources. The size and depth of these bite marks suggest that conflicts between giant sharks were violent affairs that could result in serious injury or death. The extinction of the giant sharks approximately 3 million years ago marked the end of an era that had lasted for more than 20 million years. The causes of this extinction remain debated, but likely factors include climate change, the evolution of faster and more agile prey species, and competition from emerging groups of marine mammals, such as killer whales. The disappearance of these massive predators had profound effects on marine ecosystems worldwide. The removal of such powerful selective pressure allowed prey species to evolve in new directions, while the ecological niches previously occupied by giant sharks were gradually filled by other predator groups. The modern ocean ecosystem, dominated by relatively small sharks and marine mammals, represents a fundamentally different system from the one that existed during the age of giant sharks. The legacy of prehistoric marine predators extends far beyond their own evolutionary histories to their continuing influence on modern marine ecosystems. The adaptations and strategies developed by these ancient predators continue to shape the interactions between predators and prey in contemporary oceans, while their fossil remains provide crucial insights into the evolutionary processes that have shaped life on Earth. The study of prehistoric marine predators has revealed fundamental principles about the evolution of predator-prey relationships and the factors that determine success in marine environments. The repeated evolution of similar body plans and hunting strategies in unrelated groups demonstrates the power of natural selection to produce optimal solutions to environmental challenges. The size achievements of prehistoric marine predators challenge our understanding of the biological limits that constrain organism size. The existence of creatures like Shastasaurus and Megalodon demonstrates that enormous size can be a successful evolutionary strategy under appropriate environmental conditions. The factors that enabled these giants to evolve and persist provide insights into the ecological conditions necessary to support very large predators. The extinction patterns observed in prehistoric marine predators reveal the vulnerability of even highly successful evolutionary lineages to environmental change and competition from other groups. The replacement of marine reptiles by sharks and the subsequent evolution and extinction of giant sharks demonstrates that evolutionary success is always temporary, and that environmental change can eliminate even the most dominant predator groups. The methods developed for studying prehistoric marine predators continue to evolve, providing increasingly detailed insights into the lives and behaviors of these ancient animals. Advances in computer modeling, chemical analysis, and comparative anatomy allow scientists to reconstruct not just what these animals looked like, but how they moved, what they ate, and how they interacted with their environment. The integration of paleontological evidence with modern ecological and evolutionary theory provides a comprehensive framework for understanding the factors that have shaped marine predator evolution throughout Earth's history. This interdisciplinary approach reveals patterns and processes that would not be apparent from studying either ancient or modern systems in isolation. The continuing discovery of new fossil species ensures that our understanding of prehistoric marine predators will continue to evolve and expand. Recent discoveries of giant ichthyosaurs, new species of mosasaurs, and previously unknown shark lineages demonstrate that the fossil record still holds many secrets about the diversity and capabilities of these remarkable creatures. The preservation of soft tissue details in some prehistoric marine predator fossils provides unprecedented insights into their anatomy and physiology. The discovery of preserved skin, muscles, and even internal organs allows scientists to understand these animals in ways that would have been impossible based on skeletal remains alone. The evidence for complex behaviors in prehistoric marine predators challenges traditional assumptions about the cognitive capabilities of extinct reptiles and fish. Evidence for parental care, social grouping, and sophisticated hunting strategies suggests that these animals possessed behavioral repertoires that were far more complex than previously imagined. The geographic and temporal distribution of prehistoric marine predator fossils reveals patterns of evolution, migration, and extinction that provide insights into the responses of organisms to environmental change. The global distribution of many species demonstrates the ability of marine predators to colonize distant ocean basins, while extinction patterns reveal the vulnerability of specialized forms to environmental perturbation. The biomechanical analysis of prehistoric marine predator anatomy provides insights into the physical constraints and capabilities that shaped their evolution. Computer models of swimming performance, bite force, and sensory capabilities allow scientists to understand how these animals functioned as living organisms and how their anatomy was optimized for particular ecological roles. The reconstruction of prehistoric marine ecosystems based on predator-prey relationships reveals the complexity of ancient food webs and the ecological processes that sustain them. The coexistence of multiple predator groups with different hunting strategies demonstrates the importance of ecological specialization in maintaining biodiversity and ecosystem stability. The comparison of prehistoric and modern marine predator communities reveals both similarities and differences in the ways that marine ecosystems are structured and function. While the specific groups of predators have changed over geological time, the basic ecological roles and predator-prey dynamics remain remarkably consistent. The influence of prehistoric marine predators on the evolution of their prey species provides insights into the role of predation in driving evolutionary innovation. The development of defensive strategies, escape responses, and protective structures in prey species reflects the ongoing evolutionary arms race between predators and their victims. The study of prehistoric marine predator extinction events provides crucial information about the factors that determine species survival during periods of environmental crisis. The differential survival of various predator groups during mass extinction events reveals the importance of ecological flexibility and physiological tolerance in determining evolutionary success. The applications of prehistoric marine predator research extend beyond pure science to practical considerations in conservation biology and ecosystem management. Understanding how ancient marine ecosystems functioned and how they responded to environmental change provides valuable insights for managing modern marine resources and protecting endangered species. The educational value of prehistoric marine predator research lies in its ability to capture public imagination while teaching fundamental principles of evolution, ecology, and environmental science. These remarkable creatures serve as powerful examples of the diversity and complexity of life on Earth and the importance of understanding our planet's biological heritage. The technological advances that have enabled detailed study of prehistoric marine predators continue to reveal new aspects of their biology and behavior. Techniques such as CT scanning, isotopic analysis, and molecular paleontology provide information about these animals that would have been impossible to obtain using traditional methods. The collaborative nature of prehistoric marine predator research involves scientists from multiple disciplines working together to understand different aspects of these complex organisms. Paleontologists, geologists, biologists, chemists, and computer scientists all contribute to our growing understanding of how these animals lived and evolved. The philosophical implications of prehistoric marine predator research extend to fundamental questions about the nature of life, evolution, and extinction. These studies reveal the contingent nature of evolutionary history and the role of chance events in shaping the diversity of life on Earth. The cultural impact of prehistoric marine predator discoveries has influenced art, literature, and popular understanding of natural history. These remarkable creatures continue to capture human imagination and inspire new generations of scientists and naturalists to study the natural world. The international cooperation required for prehistoric marine predator research demonstrates the global nature of scientific inquiry and the importance of sharing knowledge across national and cultural boundaries. Fossils discovered in one country often provide crucial information for understanding ecosystems and evolutionary processes that operated on a global scale. The economic value of prehistoric marine predator research extends to tourism, education, and the development of new technologies inspired by ancient adaptations. Museums displaying these fossils attract millions of visitors annually, while biomimetic research based on prehistoric predator anatomy has led to innovations in engineering and design. The conservation implications of prehistoric marine predator research highlight the importance of protecting modern marine ecosystems and the predator species that maintain their structure and function. Understanding how ancient marine ecosystems collapsed provides warnings about the potential consequences of human activities on contemporary marine environments. The future directions of prehistoric marine predator research promise continued discoveries and new insights into the evolution and ecology of these remarkable animals. Advances in technology, the discovery of new fossil sites, and the development of new analytical techniques ensure that our understanding of these creatures will continue to grow and evolve. As we conclude our exploration of the monsters that ruled prehistoric seas, we are left with a profound appreciation for the remarkable diversity and success of the marine predators that dominated Earth's oceans for hundreds of millions of years. These creatures achieved extraordinary adaptations for life in aquatic environments, developed sophisticated hunting strategies, and created complex ecological relationships that sustained marine ecosystems across vast spans of geological time. The story of prehistoric marine predators is ultimately a story about the power of evolution to create solutions to environmental challenges and the incredible diversity of life that can emerge when organisms are given sufficient time and opportunity to adapt and diversify. Their legacy continues to influence marine ecosystems today and provides crucial insights into the processes that shape life on our planet. The monsters that ruled prehistoric seas were not creatures of fantasy, but real animals whose extraordinary adaptations and capabilities demonstrate the remarkable potential of life on Earth. Their stories, preserved in stone and revealed through scientific investigation, remind us of the deep history that underlies all current life and the ongoing processes that continue to shape the biological world around us. In the vast expanse of geological time, these ancient predators swam through seas that existed long before human consciousness emerged to contemplate their existence. Yet through the patient work of scientific investigation, we can now appreciate their remarkable achievements and understand their crucial role in shaping the biological world we inhabit today. Their reign may have ended millions of years ago, but their influence continues to ripple through time, affecting the evolution and ecology of modern marine life in ways both obvious and subtle. The techniques they pioneered for capturing prey, the ecological relationships they established, and the evolutionary innovations they achieved continue to provide templates for understanding how life adapts to the challenges and opportunities presented by marine environments. The preservation of their remains in the geological record provides a library of information about past marine ecosystems that continues to yield new insights as our analytical techniques become more sophisticated. Each fossil discovery adds another piece to the puzzle of understanding how these remarkable creatures lived, evolved, and ultimately disappeared from Earth's oceans. The legacy of prehistoric marine predators extends beyond their scientific importance to their role in inspiring human curiosity about the natural world. These magnificent creatures serve as ambassadors for the deep history of life on Earth, encouraging us to look beyond our immediate experience, to appreciate the vast timescales and complex processes that have shaped our planet's biological heritage. As we face contemporary challenges in marine conservation and ecosystem management, the lessons learned from studying prehistoric marine predators become increasingly relevant. Understanding how ancient marine ecosystems functioned and how they responded to environmental change provides valuable guidance for protecting the marine life that exists today and ensuring the health of ocean ecosystems for future generations. The story of the monsters that ruled prehistoric seas reminds us that the current state of marine life represents just one brief moment in a much longer story of evolutionary experimentation and adaptation. The creatures that populate today's oceans are the latest chapters in an ongoing narrative that began hundreds of millions of years ago and will continue long after our own species has become part of the geological record. In contemplating the remarkable achievements of these ancient marine predators, we gain not only knowledge about the past, but also perspective on our place in the continuing story of life on Earth. Their success demonstrates the incredible potential for life to adapt and thrive in even the most challenging environments, while their ultimate extinction reminds us of the temporary nature of all evolutionary achievements. The monsters that ruled prehistoric seas were remarkable, not because they were supernatural or imaginary, but because they represented nature at its most creative and ambitious. Their legacy lives on in the fossil record, in the structure of modern marine ecosystems, and in the ongoing quest to understand the processes that have shaped life on our planet throughout its long and remarkable history. History, the transformation that would follow, represents one of the most dramatic ecological shifts in the history of Earth's oceans. As the Cretaceous period drew to its close, the marine reptile dynasties that had shaped ocean ecosystems for more than 150 million years faced challenges they could not overcome. The asteroid impact that marked the boundary between the Mesozoic and Cenozoic eras created environmental conditions so severe that most large marine predators simply could not adapt quickly enough to survive. The immediate aftermath of this catastrophic event left the oceans largely empty of the giant predators that had defined marine life for so long. Water temperatures fluctuated wildly as debris in the atmosphere blocked sunlight, disrupting the photosynthesis that formed the base of marine food webs. Ocean chemistry changed dramatically as acid rain and other byproducts of the impact altered the pH and mineral content of seawater. Many of the prey species that had sustained large marine predators disappeared entirely, leaving survivors to compete for drastically reduced food resources. In this devastated marine environment, only the most adaptable predators managed to persist through the crisis. Sharks, with their flexible physiology and generalized feeding habits, proved better equipped to survive the dramatic environmental changes than the highly specialized marine reptiles. Their ability to exploit a wide variety of prey types and their relatively efficient metabolism allowed them to persist when more specialized predators could not find adequate food resources. The early Paleocene epoch witnessed the gradual recovery of marine ecosystems from the devastation of the mass extinction. In the absence of mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, and other giant marine reptiles, surviving predator groups began to explore the ecological opportunities created by the disappearance of their former competitors. This period of ecological reorganization would set the stage for the evolution of marine predator communities, fundamentally different from those that had preceded them. Primitive whales began their remarkable transition from terrestrial mammals to marine predators during the Eocene epoch, approximately 50 million years ago. These early cetaceans retained many characteristics of their terrestrial ancestors while developing initial adaptations for aquatic life. The process was gradual, spanning millions of years as successive generations became increasingly specialized for marine environments. Ambulochaetus represents an early stage in this remarkable evolutionary transition. This four-legged whale retained functional limbs for terrestrial locomotion while possessing adaptations that allowed it to swim effectively in aquatic environments. The skull shows modifications for underwater hearing, while the vertebral column displays the flexibility necessary for the undulatory swimming motions that would characterize later whales. The lifestyle of Ambulochaetus bridged terrestrial and aquatic environments, much like that of modern seals and sea lions. These animals were equally capable of moving on land and swimming in water, using coastal areas for rest and reproduction, while venturing into marine waters to hunt fish and other aquatic prey. This amphibious existence provided access to food resources unavailable to purely terrestrial or purely aquatic predators. The continued evolution of early whales proceeded through a series of forms that showed increasing specialization for aquatic life. Each successive stage in this evolutionary progression involved modifications to anatomy, physiology, and behavior that enhanced the efficiency of marine hunting, while reducing dependence on terrestrial environments. Basilosaurus exemplifies the fully aquatic whales that had evolved by the late Eocene epoch. This enormous predator reached lengths of more than 20 meters, making it one of the largest marine animals of its time. The limbs had been reduced to small appendages that played no role in locomotion, while the spine had become highly flexible to accommodate the powerful swimming motions generated by the tail. The hunting capabilities of Basilosaurus were formidable, with elongated jaws filled with differentiated teeth designed for various aspects of prey processing. The front teeth were sharp and pointed for gripping struggling prey, while the back teeth were broader and more robust for cutting through flesh and bone. This dental specialization allowed these early whales to handle a wide variety of prey types with remarkable efficiency. The prey of Basilosaurus included fish, smaller marine mammals, and even other whales. Fossilized stomach contents reveal that these predators were opportunistic feeders that would consume virtually any appropriately sized marine animal they encountered. This dietary flexibility was crucial to their success in the recovering marine ecosystems of the Eocene epoch. The sensory adaptations of early whales represented sophisticated solutions to the challenges of underwater communication and navigation. The development of echolocation systems allowed these mammals to hunt effectively in murky water or complete darkness, while enhanced underwater hearing provided superior ability to detect the sounds made by potential prey or predators. The social behavior of early whales remains largely unknown, but evidence suggests that at least some species engaged in cooperative hunting or traveled in groups. The discovery of multiple individuals preserved together in some fossil deposits indicates that these animals may have formed social aggregations for feeding, reproduction, or protection from larger predators. The success of early whales encouraged further diversification within the cetacean lineage, leading to the evolution of numerous specialized forms adapted for different marine environments and prey types. Some lineages developed into fast-swimming pursuit predators, while others became filter feeders capable of processing enormous quantities of small prey organisms. The rise of modern shark lineages during the Cenozoic era represented another major development in post-extinction marine predator evolution. Building upon the basic shark body plan that had proven successful for hundreds of millions of years, these predators developed increasingly sophisticated adaptations that would make them among the most effective marine hunters ever evolved. The development of enhanced thermoregulation in some shark lineages provided significant advantages for maintaining high activity levels in various water temperatures. This physiological innovation allowed certain sharks to remain active in cooler waters and to pursue prey over longer distances than their cold-blooded relatives. The great white shark represents the culmination of this evolutionary refinement, combining massive size with sophisticated hunting capabilities. These predators possess sensory systems that can detect the bioelectric fields generated by potential prey from considerable distances, while their powerful jaws can deliver devastating bites that few marine animals can survive. The hunting strategy employed by great white sharks involves a combination of stealth, speed, and overwhelming force. These predators approach their prey from below, using their dark dorsal coloration to remain camouflaged against the depths, while their light ventral coloration makes them difficult to detect from above. The final attack involves explosive acceleration that can propel the shark partially out of the water. The prey of great white sharks includes a wide variety of marine mammals, fish, and other sharks. Their ability to tackle prey much larger than themselves has made them apex predators in many marine ecosystems, influencing the behavior and distribution of numerous prey species. The social behavior of great white sharks appears to be more complex than previously understood. Recent research has revealed evidence of social hierarchies, cooperative hunting behaviors, and long-distance migrations that suggest these predators possess sophisticated behavioral repertoires. The tiger shark represents another highly successful modern shark lineage, distinguished by its remarkable dietary versatility and global distribution. These predators possess teeth that are uniquely designed for cutting through a wide variety of materials, allowing them to consume prey that other sharks cannot handle effectively. The feeding behavior of tiger sharks is opportunistic in the extreme, with documented prey including fish, marine mammals, sea turtles, birds, and even inanimate objects. This dietary flexibility has made tiger sharks successful in a wide variety of marine environments and has contributed to their reputation as one of the most adaptable marine predators. The reproductive strategies of tiger sharks involve complex mating behaviors and sophisticated mechanisms for ensuring offspring survival. Females can store sperm for extended periods, allowing them to reproduce when environmental conditions are optimal for juvenile survival. The bull shark represents one of the few marine predators capable of transitioning between saltwater and freshwater environments. This remarkable physiological capability has allowed bull sharks to colonize rivers and lakes far from marine environments, expanding their hunting opportunities and reducing competition with other marine predators. The osmoregulatory adaptations that enable bull sharks to survive in freshwater environments involve sophisticated modifications to kidney function and salt retention mechanisms. These physiological innovations allow these sharks to maintain proper cellular function while exploiting prey resources unavailable to other marine predators. The hunting behavior of bull sharks in freshwater environments differs significantly from their marine hunting strategies. The reduced visibility and different prey communities found in rivers and lakes require modifications to sensory reliance and hunting techniques. These behavioral adaptations demonstrate the remarkable flexibility that has made sharks such successful predators across diverse environments. The hammerhead sharks represent a unique evolutionary experiment in enhanced sensory capability. The distinctive head structure of these predators houses an expanded electroreceptor system that provides superior ability to detect the bioelectric fields generated by potential prey organisms. The hunting advantages provided by the hammerhead sensory system are particularly evident when these sharks hunt stingrays and other prey that bury themselves in sediment. The enhanced electroreception allows hammerheads to locate hidden prey that would be undetectable to other predators, relying primarily on vision or conventional lateral line systems. The schooling behavior exhibited by some hammerhead species represents an unusual social strategy among sharks. Large aggregations of scalloped hammerheads gather at specific locations, possibly for mating purposes or to take advantage of concentrated prey resources. These social behaviors suggest that hammerhead intelligence and behavioral complexity may exceed that of other shark species. The mako sharks represent the pinnacle of speed and agility among modern marine predators. These remarkable animals possess physiological adaptations that allow them to maintain body temperatures significantly above that of the surrounding water, providing enhanced muscle performance and sustained high-speed swimming capability. The hunting strategy employed by mako sharks involves high-speed pursuit of fast-swimming prey such as tuna and billfish. Their streamlined body shape and powerful swimming muscles allow them to achieve speeds that exceed those of most potential prey species, while their sharp teeth are perfectly designed for gripping struggling fish. The thermoregulatory adaptations of mako sharks involve sophisticated circulatory modifications that conserve body heat generated by muscle activity. This physiological innovation allows these predators to remain active and maintain optimal hunting performance even in relatively cold water. The reproductive behavior of mako sharks involves complex courtship rituals and sophisticated mechanisms for ensuring offspring survival. The development of young makos occurs entirely within the mother's body, with embryos receiving nutrition through specialized structures that parallel those found in placental mammals. The development of echolocation in toothed whales represents one of the most sophisticated sensory systems ever evolved by a marine predator. This biological sonar system allows these mammals to navigate, communicate, and hunt with remarkable precision in environments where vision is limited or impossible. The sperm whale exemplifies the ultimate development of deep-diving capabilities among marine mammals. These enormous predators can dive to depths exceeding 2,000 meters, remaining submerged for more than an hour, while hunting the giant squid that constitute their primary prey. The physiological adaptations that enable such extreme diving performance involve modifications to virtually every organ system, enhanced oxygen storage capacity, modified circulation patterns, and specialized pressure tolerance mechanisms allow sperm whales to function effectively at depths that would be fatal to most other air-breathing animals. The hunting strategy employed by sperm whales in the deep ocean involves sophisticated use of echolocation to locate prey in complete darkness. The massive spermaceti organ housed in the whale's head functions as both a sound production system and a focusing mechanism for the powerful sonar clicks used in echolocation. The prey relationships between sperm whales and giant squid represent one of the most remarkable predator-prey interactions in the modern ocean. These battles between titans occur in the deep ocean far from human observation, but evidence preserved on whale skin and in stomach contents reveals the intensity of these encounters. The killer whale represents the pinnacle of marine mammal predatory evolution, combining massive size with sophisticated intelligence and complex social behaviors. These apex predators have developed hunting strategies that allow them to prey upon virtually any marine animal, including other whales many times their size. The social structure of killer whale populations involves complex family groups led by matriarchal females. These social units cooperate in hunting activities that require coordinated effort and sophisticated communication. The cultural transmission of hunting techniques from one generation to the next has led to the development of distinct hunting traditions within different killer whale populations. The dietary specialization observed in different killer whale populations demonstrates remarkable behavioral flexibility within the species. Some populations specialize in hunting fish, while others focus on marine mammals. These dietary preferences are maintained through cultural learning rather than genetic differences, illustrating the importance of behavioral adaptation in marine predator success. The hunting techniques employed by killer whales vary dramatically depending on their target prey. When hunting seals, these predators may beach themselves temporarily to capture prey on shorelines. When pursuing larger whales, they employ coordinated pack hunting strategies that involve multiple individuals working together to exhaust and overcome their massive prey. The communication systems used by killer whales involve complex vocalizations that serve multiple functions in hunting and social coordination. Each family group maintains a distinct dialect that allows members to coordinate activities and maintain group cohesion, even when separated by considerable distances. The intelligence demonstrated by killer whales extends far beyond simple hunting behaviors to include problem-solving abilities, tool use, and cultural innovation. These cognitive capabilities have allowed killer whales to adapt to changing environmental conditions and to develop novel hunting strategies for exploiting new prey resources. The colossal squid represents one of the most mysterious and formidable predators in the modern deep ocean. These enormous cephalopods possess adaptations for deep-sea predation that rival those of any vertebrate marine predator, including hooks on their tentacles that can grip struggling prey with devastating effectiveness. The anatomy of colossal squid reveals adaptations for life in the extreme conditions of the deep Antarctic Ocean. Their massive eyes, among the largest of any animal, are perfectly designed for gathering the minimal light available at great depths. The proportions suggest these animals may reach lengths approaching 20 meters. The hunting strategy employed by colossal squid likely involves ambush tactics in the deep ocean, where these predators wait motionlessly for prey to approach within striking distance. The powerful tentacles armed with rotating hooks can grip struggling prey, while the sharp beak tears flesh from captured victims. The prey relationships between colossal squid and sperm whales represent a continuation of the ancient predator-prey dynamics that have characterized marine ecosystems throughout Earth's history. The discovery of colossal squid beaks in sperm whale stomachs and squid sucker marks on whale skin provides direct evidence of these deep ocean battles. The physiology of colossal squid includes adaptations for maintaining function at the extreme pressures and low temperatures found in their deep ocean habitat. Specialized proteins prevent cellular damage from pressure, while modified circulatory systems maintain adequate oxygen delivery to tissues despite the challenges of their environment. The reproductive biology of colossal squid remains largely mysterious due to the extreme difficulty of observing these animals in their natural habitat. The few specimens that have been captured or observed suggest complex mating behaviors and sophisticated mechanisms for ensuring offspring survival in the harsh deep ocean environment. The giant Pacific octopus represents another remarkable cephalopod predator that demonstrates the continued success of this ancient lineage in modern marine ecosystems. These intelligent invertebrates possess problem-solving abilities and behavioral flexibility that rival those of many vertebrate predators. The hunting strategies employed by giant Pacific octopus involve sophisticated use of camouflage, stealth, and intelligence to capture a wide variety of prey. These predators can change their coloration and texture to match their surroundings with remarkable precision, making them virtually invisible to both prey and predators. The cognitive abilities demonstrated by giant Pacific octopus include tool use, maze navigation, and complex problem-solving behaviors. These intellectual capabilities allow these predators to adapt their hunting strategies to local conditions and to exploit prey resources that might be unavailable to less intelligent predators. The solitary lifestyle of giant Pacific octopus contrasts sharply with the social behaviors exhibited by many vertebrate marine predators. These animals invest enormous energy in reproduction, with females guarding their eggs until death, while males typically die shortly after mating. The modern ocean ecosystem represents a complex web of predator-prey relationships that have evolved over millions of years following the extinction of the great marine reptiles. The predators that dominate contemporary seas employ strategies and adaptations that reflect both continuity with ancient patterns and innovation in response to changing environmental conditions. The role of marine predators in maintaining ecosystem balance has become increasingly important as human activities alter marine environments worldwide. The complex relationships between predators and their prey help regulate populations and maintain the stability of marine food webs. The conservation challenges facing modern marine predators reflect the cumulative impact of human activities on ocean ecosystems. Overfishing, pollution, climate change, and habitat destruction all threaten the survival of marine predator species that took millions of years to evolve. The study of prehistoric marine predators provides crucial insights into the factors that determine long-term survival in marine environments. The evolutionary history of these ancient animals reveals both the remarkable adaptability of life and the vulnerability of even highly successful species to environmental change. The techniques developed for studying fossil marine predators continue to evolve, providing increasingly detailed information about how these animals lived and died. Advanced imaging technologies, chemical analysis methods, and computer modeling allow scientists to reconstruct aspects of ancient marine ecosystems with unprecedented accuracy. The discovery of new fossil sites and the development of new analytical methods ensure that our understanding of prehistoric marine predators will continue to grow. Recent discoveries have revealed previously unknown aspects of marine reptile behavior, physiology, and ecology that challenge traditional assumptions about these ancient animals. The integration of paleontological research with modern marine biology provides a comprehensive framework for understanding how marine ecosystems function and evolve over geological timescales. This interdisciplinary approach reveals patterns and processes that would not be apparent from studying either ancient or modern systems alone. The educational value of prehistoric marine predator research extends beyond academic science to public understanding of evolution, extinction, and environmental change. These remarkable creatures serve as powerful examples of both the creativity of evolutionary processes and the fragility of life in the face of environmental upheaval. The technological applications inspired by prehistoric marine predator anatomy continue to influence engineering and design fields. The study of streamlined body shapes, efficient swimming mechanisms, and sophisticated sensory systems has led to innovations in underwater vehicle design, sonar technology, and biomimetic materials. The philosophical implications of prehistoric marine predator research touch on fundamental questions about the nature of life, evolution, and our place in the natural world. These studies reveal the deep time perspective necessary for understanding biological processes and the contingent nature of evolutionary history. The international cooperation required for studying prehistoric marine predators demonstrates the global nature of scientific inquiry and the importance of sharing knowledge across cultural and political boundaries. Fossils discovered in remote locations often provide crucial information for understanding evolutionary processes that operated on a worldwide scale. The economic impact of prehistoric marine predator research extends to tourism, education, and the development of new technologies. Museums and research institutions attract millions of visitors annually, while the knowledge gained from studying these ancient animals contributes to innovations in multiple fields. The cultural significance of prehistoric marine predators reflects their continuing ability to capture human imagination and inspire wonder about the natural world. These creatures serve as ambassadors for scientific literacy and environmental awareness, encouraging public support for research and conservation efforts. The future directions of prehistoric marine predator research promise continued discoveries and new insights into the evolution of life in marine environments. Advancing technologies, the exploration of new fossil localities, and the development of novel analytical techniques will undoubtedly reveal new aspects of these remarkable animals. The comparison between prehistoric and modern marine predators reveals both continuities and changes in the strategies employed by successful marine hunters. While the specific anatomical solutions have varied over time, the fundamental challenges of capturing prey in aquatic environments have remained constant. The role of environmental change in shaping marine predator evolution provides crucial insights for understanding how modern ecosystems might respond to contemporary climate change and other human-induced environmental alterations. The fossil record serves as a natural laboratory for studying the effects of environmental perturbation on marine life. The preservation of marine predator fossils depends on specific geological conditions that provide snapshots of ancient marine ecosystems at particular moments in time. The quality and completeness of fossil preservation vary dramatically, influencing what aspects of ancient predator biology can be reconstructed and understood. The reconstruction of ancient marine food webs based on predator-prey relationships reveals the complexity of ecosystem interactions and the cascading effects that can result from changes in predator populations. These studies provide important context for understanding the ecological roles of modern marine predators. The biomechanical analysis of prehistoric marine predator anatomy continues to reveal new insights into how these animals functioned as living organisms. Computer modeling of swimming performance, feeding mechanics, and sensory capabilities allows scientists to test hypotheses about predator behavior and ecology. The geographic distribution of marine predator fossils reflects both the global nature of marine ecosystems and the specific environmental conditions that favored fossilization. The pattern of discoveries provides insights into ancient ocean circulation, climate, and the connectivity of marine habitats. The temporal distribution of marine predator lineages reveals patterns of origination, diversification, and extinction that provide insights into the factors controlling evolutionary success over geological timescales. These patterns help scientists understand the relationship between environmental change and biological innovation. The molecular analysis of well-preserved marine predator fossils has begun to yield information about ancient DNA, proteins, and other biological molecules. These techniques provide unprecedented insights into the physiology, genetics, and evolutionary relationships of prehistoric marine predators. The experimental approaches used to understand marine predator biomechanics involve creating physical and computer models that test hypotheses about how these animals moved, fed, and sensed their environment. These studies bridge the gap between fossil evidence and functional biology. The collaborative nature of marine predator paleontology involves researchers from multiple institutions and countries working together to understand these complex organisms. The sharing of specimens, data, and analytical techniques accelerates the pace of discovery and ensures comprehensive understanding. The training of new researchers in marine predator paleontology ensures the continuation of this important scientific endeavor. Graduate students and young scientists bring fresh perspectives and new techniques to the study of these ancient animals, driving continued innovation in research methods. The public outreach efforts associated with marine predator research help communicate the importance and excitement of paleontological discovery to broader audiences. These educational activities inspire future scientists and promote public understanding of evolutionary processes and environmental change. The conservation implications of marine predator research extend to the protection of fossil sites and the preservation of specimens for future study. The management of paleontological resources requires balancing scientific access with the need to protect irreplaceable fossil deposits. The ethical considerations involved in marine predator research include questions about specimen ownership, international cooperation, and the responsible conduct of scientific inquiry. These issues become increasingly important as paleontological research becomes more global and collaborative. The integration of marine predator paleontology with other scientific disciplines continues to reveal new insights and applications. Collaborations with fields such as climate science, oceanography, and evolutionary biology provide broader context for understanding these ancient animals. The technological challenges of studying marine predator fossils drive innovation in analytical methods and research techniques. The development of new tools and approaches often has applications beyond paleontology, contributing to advances in multiple scientific fields. The database and informatics approaches used to manage marine predator fossil data enable comprehensive analysis of large datasets and facilitate international collaboration. These technological tools are essential for understanding patterns that emerge from thousands of individual fossil discoveries. The field methods used to discover and excavate marine predator fossils continue to evolve, incorporating new technologies for site location, excavation, and specimen preservation. These advances improve the quality and quantity of information that can be extracted from fossil discoveries. The laboratory techniques used to prepare and analyze marine predator fossils have become increasingly sophisticated, allowing researchers to extract information that would have been impossible to obtain using traditional methods. These advances continue to reveal new aspects of ancient marine predator biology. The theoretical frameworks used to interpret marine predator evolution draw from multiple scientific disciplines and continue to evolve as new data becomes available. These conceptual advances help scientists understand the processes that shaped the diversity and success of ancient marine predators. The comparative approaches used to understand marine predator evolution involve studying both fossil and living species to identify patterns and processes that operate across different timescales. These studies reveal both the uniqueness of prehistoric forms and the continuities that connect ancient and modern marine life. The quantitative methods used to analyze marine predator data have become increasingly sophisticated, incorporating statistical techniques and computer modeling to test hypotheses and identify patterns in large datasets. These analytical approaches provide objective frameworks for understanding evolutionary processes. The synthesis of marine predator research requires integrating information from multiple sources and scales to develop comprehensive understanding of these complex organisms. This synthetic approach reveals emergent properties and patterns that are not apparent from studying individual aspects in isolation. As we reach the conclusion of our exploration through the vast reaches of geological time and the prehistoric seas that once covered our planet, we find ourselves witnesses to one of the most remarkable stories in the history of life on Earth. The creatures we have encountered during this journey were not merely animals that happened to live in ancient oceans. They were the architects of marine ecosystems, the engineers of predatory innovation, and the pioneers of adaptations that would influence the course of evolution for hundreds of millions of years. Through the quiet depths of geological time, we have witnessed the rise and fall of creatures whose very existence expanded the boundaries of what life could achieve in Earth's ancient oceans. From the first experimental predators of the Cambrian seas to the ultimate marine hunters that ruled the waters until just a few million years ago, we have followed a story that spans more than 500 million years of evolutionary innovation and adaptation. These remarkable beings, the true monsters of prehistoric seas, remind us that the current state of marine life represents merely the latest chapter in an ongoing narrative of biological creativity and environmental response. The ichthyosaurs that converged on dolphin-like perfection, the plesiosaurs that pioneered four-flipper flight through ancient waters, the mosasaurs that transformed from land lizards to ocean giants in the geological blink of an eye, and the massive sharks that pushed the limits of marine predation, all demonstrate the extraordinary potential for life to find solutions to the challenges of survival in aquatic environments. Their stories, preserved in stone and revealed through centuries of patient scientific investigation, offer profound insights into the processes that continue to shape life on our planet. The same evolutionary pressures that drove these ancient predators to develop sophisticated sensory systems, powerful swimming abilities, and diverse hunting strategies continue to influence the marine life that surrounds us today. As we return to the present moment from our journey through deep time, we carry with us a deeper appreciation for the remarkable history that underlies all current life and the ongoing processes that will continue to shape the biological world long after our own species has become part of the fossil record. The monsters that ruled prehistoric seas were real, magnificent, and ultimately temporary, but their legacy lives on in every wave that breaks upon our shores and every creature that swims in our modern oceans.